Hi, I'm Rob.
And I'm Angie.
And together, we are TwinFinity.
We are twin flames in union, sharing our journey through a series of videos. This is now video number 19, and it's called The Lockout, hence why we have our little locks here. That's the best I could think of as a backdrop, because we were supposed to do this video out in nature, but nature didn't cooperate this week.
It is still too much winter here where we live.
Yeah, we tried. We really did try.
Where we live, it was sunny on the weekend, but we go out to the mountains and it's cloudy and foggy and a little bit snowy, and just wasn't right. Plus the wind was blowing there and it wasn't quite blowing here, so we maybe could have done it here, but we wanted the mountains and we missed out. So we didn't even do a video on Saturday or Sunday like we normally would.
Yeah.
We're now almost midweek.
Yeah,
sorry
because
about
by
that.
the time we got home, I was too tired. As I've posted on our page, you saw the crazy picture that Rob took of me all tucked in my little blanket.
Oh, you posted that picture. I didn't know that.
I did.
She was
the dog on my lap.
Yeah, she was just looking all zonked in her chair, so I just threw a blanket on her there, and the dog jumped up and went to sleep too. And
Yes. So it's now Tuesday, and we're finally doing our video.
Anyway, today we are in our kitchen, and we have a picture above us, hence why we are trying to cut off everything that's above us. And
so Rob's going to slouch.
I'm going to slouch a little bit so that I don't get through the top of the frame. And the picture that's above me is going to be important many videos from now, but we didn't want to show it just yet.
No.
And so also today, we are almost like complete people here. Normally we're just talking heads. Hi, we're trying to reach up into...
We're complete people.
And we're further away, so yeah, I get to see a little bit more of us, just simply because of our setting.
Yes.
Anyway, moving on to the recap, unless you had anything else.
No, because we have a lot to cover, so we should get going. Yeah.
Last video, Angie is told that court is not her lesson, trust is. And also, all of Angie's friends are away for 2 weeks, and she has no way of contacting her parents, so she is forced to face her challenges alone, only going within herself to figure out what to do for 2 weeks when things are really tough.
Yes.
I put another note under Angie's door asking her thoughts on meeting again. And Angie has no intentions of meeting with me because she doesn't want to tell me everything that's going on in her life. But then she sees me in the elevator and we have a chance to chat and get together again anyway. And when we meet, we confess that we still love each other and don't know what to do with the love that won't go away.
Yes. Yes, that's a lot of recap, but it's all true.
Yes.
It's our crazy life. So before I get started on this one, I wanted to just first comment that it's very interesting. The last video and the ones coming up, I really haven't wanted to share, partly because of, just it was my crazy life, but also because I was worried that people weren't going to relate with it. And I'm thinking, why are we sharing this part of the story? I was shocked to learn, though, that several of you have commented that you are right now going through exactly what I was going through back then, with being broke, with not sure if you're going to have a place to live soon, not having a job. So, wow, first of all, I was absolutely amazed. And all I can tell you is there is a reason. I mean, if I've gone through it and others are going through it too, there is a reason. I know there was a reason for my journey. But just have faith and know that you will get through this. There is a purpose. It's not meant to break you. It's meant to help you grow. It's meant to help you advance in your journey. So just have faith. I could say so much more, but we've chatted, some of the people we've chatted individually that have shared. So we'll leave it at that. And but yeah, I just wanted to share. It's fascinating to know that others are going through this right now. So saddens me, but I know it was part of my life, and it's obviously part of others as well.
Very true.
Yeah.
Very true. I didn't know if there'd be very many people either. I had the same concerns, but it's turning out to be very, very much worthwhile.
Yeah.
And lots of people are relating.
Who knew? So hopefully you guys don't relate with this next part of the story, but if you do, just know again that you will get through it.
And I'm not sure how we're really appearing tonight. This is a really tough part of the story. Angie has been trying to muster up the energy and courage to be all ambitious to do this section, but just in reading ahead to try to figure out how all this works, this has really been hard on Angie, and I've put no pressure on her whatsoever as far as timing is concerned. That's why another reason why we didn't do this on the weekend is it just didn't feel right. All the courage to Angie, and good luck over the next 45 minutes or an hour or however long this takes.
Well, I've actually detached a lot. It's amazing. Now I always read it right before we do the video just to make sure everything's fresh in my head. And it's like it's somebody else's life now. I don't even have any emotions about it anymore. So I think that's a good thing. I think that means I've kind of released the past, which is part of apparently our learning in all of this as well, and our healing. But yeah, it's like, that was my life, really? So if I come across detached and, not really emotionful as I share this, it's because I kind of am. I'm not trying to be cold. It just doesn't even feel like my own life anymore.
Not saying that it's right or wrong, but listening to Angie right now, it might be a coping method, but coping methods are there for a reason as well. It's... I remember all this being no fun.
Well, it wasn't a lot of fun.
Yeah, even if she was hiding a lot of it from me.
Yeah. So on that note, we're going to get started. I'm starting now in my journal at August 15th of 1998, of course. I'm going to move that, okay, because the last video, it just really bugged me seeing it through there. So I'm sorry.
Okay. I'll move it even further.
My neuroses is coming out.
I can move it way over here.
Really pretty.
If I move it any further, it's going to fall off the end of the table.
Yeah, don't do that.
Okay, I'll pull it back a little.
Okay. All right, so I'm sharing. I have to admit, I still feel distressed about the whole Rob thing. I know, love is strong and miracles happen, and I should have faith and I should trust what I do not see. I'm finding it difficult, though. What I was finding difficult was the fact that, even after 2 months of not seeing him, it seemed like nothing had changed. And here my angels are saying, oh, you guys have this future together and you have a mission to do. And of course, I'm thinking it's supposed to happen back then, and I'm not seeing any of it. So I'm feeling incredibly discouraged about the Rob that I'm still experiencing. Yes, we still share this love, but not enough for us to be together, really. So it was discouraging. So then I was saying, I still wonder if and how. I still fear falling and losing all the major work I've done on love and trust. The fact is, I still fear. It is much, much less, but it's there nonetheless. So yeah, I still had fear. Just being with Rob is showing me how much I have truly grown. I feel so whole and so connected and at peace with myself. I feel very balanced and connected to body, mind, and soul. It's a great feeling. So even though I was discouraged about him and I was feeling like I was in a very centered place, which is kind of surprising to me, actually, that I would write that, considering where my life was at. Here I am broke. I've got notes on my door about eviction and going to court, and yet I feel whole and balanced. Wow. So then I'm writing, I was smudging my place to clear the energy when I thought, angels, can I find $5 so I can buy new cat litter? An hour later, Vic comes down with $5 saying she was told to give it to me. Funny or what? So this is what I was saying in our last video. The weird, bizarre, amazing ways I was provided for. I didn't call Vic and say, hey, can you lend me money? I was just thinking this and asking the angels, and then poof, she shows up at my door with the exact amount of money that I'm asking for. Not $20, not $10, $5. How funny. So I said, it truly is amazing how the universe works. I've been having fun reading the 10th Insight. I brought it out to show you. This is part of a series, if those of you don't know, the Celestine Prophecy, and this was the second book in it. So I'd read the Celestine Prophecy months and months before and then tried to read this one, but I just couldn't get into it. In fact, I love that I don't know if you can see that well enough, I don't know why or when I started doing this, but I've always written in my books the date and just the date and my name of when I've read them. So I have 3 dates in here, but I starred the one of the last one, which was August 16th of 1998. And I'm going to explain in my journal why that is. So I was saying I've been having fun reading the 10th Insight. It just wasn't the right time in January, and I could not get into the book. Now, it definitely feels right to read it, because I feel the energy and can't stop reading. I'm already a third of the way through. Good book. It fits very well with what I've been doing, learning and experiencing. Sending love, healing, etc. So again, it's that whole divine timing thing. Like, if we learn to just go with the flow instead of pushing things, things flow, and we're meant to experience and learn things at a certain time. So it was fascinating to me that I was trying to read this book before, and I couldn't get into it. And all of a sudden I'm reading it, and it's resonating, and everything is making complete sense for me. So I said, it's neat how I just know when the right time is to read a certain book. All the pieces fit for me right now to read the 10th Insight. So why I'm sharing about this book is because it's going to relate in a bit more here to basically the journey that we're on and what we're doing. So this is now August 18th, and I said, the last page of the book, they talk about angels helping us and miracles. Cool. This is where I'm at now. God, I pray you are all with me and protecting me and keeping me safe, and that I rise above, and I'm proud of myself for having the courage to do this at this time. I didn't commit suicide this time. I didn't quit. So many times in the past, I've given up, leaving so many people unable to complete their mission because I didn't do my part. Now, why I wanted to read this is because some people might say, well, how come I'm doing so much more work than my twin? How come my twin gets to go live their peaceful little life, and I'm the one doing all the work and the healing? That may be true, that may not be true. I mean, as you've seen from our story, Rob was still doing his own work. He was still doing a lot of his own healing and work in a very different way than me.
And I'd also had 10 more years of living to be on my own path. I was on a much slower path, but I also had a little bit of time to burn. It almost feels to me like Angie was catching up.
Absolutely.
In some of those respects.
Yeah.
And in many ways, though, she was ahead of me, so I was having to grow in that direction too. This will come up in the future as part of when I go into accelerated growth.
Yeah. But another reason you might, or one of you might be experiencing more work and having to do more growth than the other is because of, we'll say, previous lives. Again, we're living all of our lives at once, but it's hard when we're in human form to kind of grasp that because we live in a construct of time. But for me, I had committed suicide in many past lives, and therefore I had a lot of karma. I had a lot of people that I didn't help accomplish their mission, their goals for that lifetime. So I've had to do a hell of a lot of work in this life to catch up, to work through all of that karma with many people. So that's what I was just saying here. So I'm saying I didn't commit suicide this time. So many times in the past I've given up, leaving so many people unable to complete their mission because I didn't do my part. I finally am this time around, doing my part. I have a responsibility to so many others. It's not just about my life. There are many others involved. And if I didn't do my part, they couldn't do theirs. I've done it though. I didn't give up. I had the courage to do it this time. Now we can all follow through with our purpose. The 10th Insight is all about what I'm doing now, staying awakened and conscious of our purpose and mission, even in the darkest hours of the unawakened world. When more of us wake up, we can help increase the energy to awaken more and more until it becomes a chain reaction of everyone knowing their true purpose and the human race working together and living spiritually conscious and aware in love and peace. The 10th Insight is all about what I've been doing, holding the vision and not succumbing to the fear. We must keep the focus because if we get stuck in the fear and panic, we go down and can't do what we set out to do. That's why I've been working through the panic attacks and continue to send love no matter what. Why, despite the fear, do I do all I can to continue to stay calm and keep the focus. My angels kept saying, keep the focus. They were talking about exactly what the book talks about, holding the vision, same thing. So it's amazing that this book from back in 1998 is talking about what we're still doing now. We're exactly in that place. All of us as light workers, we're here to bring our light to the world, because the more light we spread, the more of us that awaken. So it's fascinating how that book really helped me understand things, and it helped me put the pieces together of what my angels were telling me too. It just was all kind of like puzzle pieces fitting into place. So now I'm talking a bit more about the book as well. I said this book has tied so much together for me. It's all fitting and making so much sense. All of humanity is part of this. We all came to Earth with the same intentions, same goals of a united world and a common purpose. Some of us forgot, but that is why me and others have awakened early, so we can help awaken others. That's all of us. That's what we're doing here, which is really quite exciting. We are all in this together. There is no one purpose or person or group who is better or who has a more important mission. None of us can do this alone. We all need to work together to accomplish this. It's about a collective, learning to join our energies and work together. The book even talks about merging energies. There is a word I've heard lots. I was told a few months ago to remember the word merge. That was when my angels were channeling very frequently. They kept telling me, remember the word merge. Fascinating how months later, when I'm now guided to read this book, it's all coming together. Our energies merge, and that is how we awaken. Oh, it's making so much sense why I couldn't read this book before. I had to go through all of this first, so it would all make sense. It was the absolute perfect time to read the book. Another synchronicity. I keep thinking if God could provide me with money to buy cat litter, He's not going to let me fall. There is a plan way bigger than me. Beth's angel said a while ago that I had to do this. Yes, now I understand why. I ran so many times in past lives, and I had to face it all this time. I have to do this. Yes, true. Okay, I keep writing to keep the focus and do not panic. I must hold the vision and not go down with the fear. I must keep my focus on what I've come to do and why I'm here, what all of this is about. Keep the focus. I've had to learn this part of the 10th insight about keeping the vision, even amongst the non-awakened people. I used to believe all of this spiritual stuff as long as it was around awakened people. However, as soon as I'd interact with non-awakened people, family, Rob, other friends, I lost the vision. The whole thing of having to be alone for 2 weeks and making decisions by myself was teaching me about believing and trusting and holding the vision all of the time, not just when I had to be around others who were supporting me. I've accomplished it though. I was just saying to Beth Friday how neat it is that I've not fallen off my path when around Rob. So Rob's just come back into my life again, and this time I'm finally strong. Like I was reading earlier, I was feeling whole and balanced within. I was strong enough to stay in my knowing and in my truth, even around Rob, who I was terrified to tell any of this to because I thought he'd think I was a nutcase. I would have back then.
Yeah, I won't deny that.
Totally would have.
Yeah, in fact, I was very concerned about all this stuff. It just didn't have enough reality to me. As much as she wasn't telling me very much, she had told me just enough that any time that I had any little bit of contact with her, I was able to see where her mind frame basically was, and I still had no confidence that being grounded in what I call reality, the 3D reality, and all the food, the walking, the living, the paying the rent. I still had no confidence whatsoever that was any place that she could handle yet.
Yeah. So I was saying each time something happens, like getting an eviction notice, the landlord at my door, papers for court, I get knocked down and shaken a bit, but I always keep the focus and hold the vision. I do not succumb to the fear. So I was learning, because of this book, what was happening to me and why it was happening, why I was going through all of this. So this book was just really putting all the pieces together for me in such a neat way. Now, there's another reason I was sharing about this book is because it ties in with somebody that I'm going to share that I connected with. I said, I got a call from a woman who's interested in Reiki, and she called me last week. I finally called her back and left a message. So she returned my call. Guess what? The 10th Insight talks about a group of 7 people working together to accomplish their mission. Since I just read the book, Vic and I have been trying to figure out who our group of 7 is. We came up with 6 of us, but no 7th. Well, we found our 7th. Tanya and I clicked instantly over the phone. The only time I ever remember feeling that much energy and excitement was last year talking with Rob on the phone for the first time. It's a soul recognition. Can't describe it any other way.
Yes. Soul recognition is, when you get into it, start to understand it a little bit, it is very, very evident. Yeah.
Yeah, completely. So I wrote, we connected like we've known each other forever. She's reading all the same books I have, teaching her son about angels, works lots with Archangel Michael and Raphael, knows all about past lives, etc. Just herself finished reading the Celestine Prophecy and 10th Insight. Coincidence? No. Amazing. It was just awesome. I kept telling her that I was so happy we have found another person to complete our mission with. She's on the exact same path, done the survivor thing, as an LPN, so has all the nursing training and has been working to clear her past, reads all the books, just everything. She's been prepared just as much as I have, with all the healing and clearing. She found my business card. Now, this is amazing. If you remember from a couple videos back, I was sharing that I was going through the purging and was so angry that I had smashed a bunch of stuff on my carpet floor, and I took a picture of it, and I've been looking for weeks for that picture. Have not found the picture, but I found a bunch of other things in the meantime.
Yep.
That is the business card I had made way back then. Again, I was trying anything I could to get a job. I thought maybe, okay, if I'm not supposed to get a job, maybe I'll, start my own Reiki business. So I was doing whatever I could. So this woman found me from this business card that I made back then. So I wrote, she found my business card at Angels Above. I guess it wasn't even on top, and she had to search. And as soon as she saw the heart, she knew she had to call me, even though she already had a friend who does Reiki. Wow, synchronicities. Today I told God if he wants me to stay on this path and hold the vision, even when it makes no sense, I need more people on the same path for support and encouragement. Well, I got more. Wow, wow, wow. So I was just blown away at how everything was falling into place. Now, I also wanted to show, since we're talking about this, just because I found these as well, I had also made little, Reiki information cards and this, and I put these all over the place, and all these, sorry, I'm covering your face and my face now.
That's okay.
All these different things, I put them all over the city just as another way to get business, to try and get a job. And the only person that calls me is from my business card, and she ended up being somebody going through the same path with me. Incredible or what? She told me much later that red heart, she remembered that. And if you know or understand, before we come to Earth, we make soul agreements with people, and we, say, okay, I'm going to remember you by your smile, or I'm going to remember the clothes you're wearing. For her and I, the agreement was the red heart. When she saw the red heart, she knew it was time to connect with me. So fascinating that she even remembered that. As soon as she saw the heart, she's like, that's important. I need to know that. Incredible. I mean, as other people say on this journey, you truly can't make this stuff up. Like, it's just crazy amazing. So now we get some more Rob stuff in our story.
I exist.
You still exist. Yay. This is now August 24th. And I said, when I got home, Rob had a message on my machine, so I went up to his place and we had a chat about us. And the fact that he thinks it'd be better for us to go our separate ways. Here we are again, back and forth, back and forth. I told him I'd go for whatever he wants. He doesn't know what he wants. He was talking about his plants, and I mentioned that they had a nice aura, and even that bothered him.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah, we've shared this in other stories.
Here we go.
Here's the plants. I mentioned that they had a nice aura. Oh, sorry, I read that. I pointed out to him that it bothered him, and he was very torn right now. His soul wants me in his life because his soul knows he is supposed to be on this path, and I am to help him. But his head is all disturbed because it's scared. He reminds me so much of me when I wanted to leave the relationship because of fear. So in the beginning of our relationship, I was the runner. Now it's your turn to be the runner.
I had no faith that we had anything that was truly going to be in common, that would be good for a relationship, for a lifetime. I was just more and more convinced, or more and more convincing myself, that Angie just wasn't the person to settle down with.
Yeah.
In fact, I was finding it hard to even just keep her in my life. I was thinking it was just going to be too difficult.
Even though we still had the love, logically, there was nothing pulling us together. I mean, it was hard for both of us because we weren't resonating on the same levels.
She would rather read a book. I'd rather go climb a mountain.
Yeah.
Okay, that's not living together. That's not putting a life together.
No, we just weren't in the same places. So I was saying, he reminds me so much of me when I wanted to leave the relationship because of fear. Daily I'd be torn between staying and leaving. It was fear. Same for him now. So I got to be supportive and loving for him as he was for me. Be an allower. After all of our talking, he had not come up with any real conclusions of what he wanted to do and what he was going to do except leave me in his life for now.
Keep her tucked away in some little safe corner, I suppose. That's probably how I did things back then.
Yeah. So this is now August 31st. I've jumped from the 24th to the 31st because the story is basically just Tanya and I connecting. We just, similar to when Rob and I met, Tanya and I connected and just were like having crazy amounts of time together. There was actually one day we spent literally 8 hours on the phone talking and talking and talking, just reconnecting, like the soul, reconnection of, hey, what have you been doing since we last saw each other? So just amazing stuff. So again, this is August 31st, 1998, and I said, okay, God, and all my feathered friends, it's now or never. You know this, don't you? Tanya and I are at the end of our rope, the end of our money. I still owe $1,200, and I'm supposed to be out of my apartment by tomorrow. I pray you have good plans for us. Hope you understand that we are tired. We've trusted you with everything, and now it's your turn. So just to explain, my friend Tanya, even though we had just met, she was going through this exact same thing. She was channeling angels and God. She was not able to get a job. She was, like I said before, reading the same books, understanding the same purpose. And we were literally going through this challenge together. So, I mean, what a gift in a sense to have finally somebody that didn't think I was completely nuts and somebody that was living it with me. But it was hell. I mean, it was truly hell to be terrified, not knowing from one day to the next. Do we have money? Do we have a place to live? It was interesting times. So I said, on a different note, I went to Rob's last night. I really just needed a hug and to feel grounded. I finally called him at 8:30 p.m. and he called at 9 p.m. He wasn't even home, so he hadn't even got my message when he called. Another synchronicity.
We sometimes still do stuff like that.
Yes, we do.
Sometimes all the time still do stuff like that.
Yeah. Now we call them TF moments.
Yeah.
Back then we didn't know we were TF, so we didn't know what to call them. I said, so I went up and we chatted for a while. We were talking about his plants and how beautiful they are with their nice energy. I mentioned their auras again, and he didn't freak this time like he did last Sunday. Interesting. So a whole week, and you had grown a bit. It was progress. Then I actually went up to each plant and felt their auras. I even fluffed their auras a little bit, and Rob was okay with this. Wow, that's a shock. So even Rob was growing through this. He was going through his own changes and growth.
Okay, I'd like to slightly redefine that. I was also in some ways still looking for more justification that Angie was a little bit of a whack job. And of course, that's how I was thinking back then. And so she was actually in a different corner of my mind, providing me with all the ammunition I needed to stay a little bit further away. But, we just disappeared.
Oh, no.
We're back.
Okay, I don't know
Sorry
what
about
that
that.
was, but yeah,
Yep.
we're here.
It just timed out. Sorry about that, folks. But no, I, as much as I still appreciated having Angie in my life, I was clamoring for justification to not have her that deep in my life. It was just all part of that tug of war inside of me. And if I couldn't find positive information for keeping us together, I was going to be looking for information that would push us a little bit further apart. But this living in limbo bit was still being very, very hard on me. Still being in touch, still being nice, still missing her. I wanted to go one way or the other. And I was looking for anything I could grasp onto to make that shift. But at the same time, I respected the thoughts of auras and chakras. So as much as from a 3D point of view, I say that a lot, as much as from a 3D point of view, it was a push away, I was also understanding and accepting a little bit more on a spiritual level. So the tug of war was just shifting within me. And if you've got somebody in your life who's all over the place and you can never quite pin down where they're at, they may be just shifting all over the place. I understand that feeling. It's tough being grounded at one level and being all over the place day to day on another. It's very, very difficult.
Yeah, it is. All right, so this is now still August 31st in my journal, and I've got God channeling through me again. So he says, "Congratulations, my children, congratulations. Now that you've let things go and cleared the past, you are able to move forward. None of you could be a light to the world had you been carrying so much anger, frustration, and sadness. One must let go of all feelings not of love in order to be a guide of light to others." So that again is what a lot of people are going through right now, the purging, the releasing. It's part of the process that we must go through. Everything not of love we must release so that we can be a light of love. And it was interesting that this was being explained to me back then. So God's also saying, "It may not look at this point, but children, you are greatly blessed." And we're thinking, yeah, right, blessed? We're out of money and we're both about to get evicted. How are we blessed? So we're not feeling too confident. So this is now September 1, and I'm saying God must be doing something because I'm still in my apartment, despite not paying 3 months' rent now, and not going to court and having to be out today. I just got off the phone with Tanya. No miracle for her, but more words from God, that he shall provide for the both of us. So again, she was getting all the same information I was getting. We were both getting the same channeled information, which is why we kept going down this journey. Between that, the books we were reading, all the experiences and synchronicities we were having. I mean, it was just crazy, the amount of stuff that kept affirming that, yes, we were on the right path. But it was all there. So now this is September 13th, and I said, well, I have no desire to write, but I was just informed that I can't move forward on this path until I release my anger and fully cleanse myself. For God's sakes, how much anger do I have in me? I'm fed up with this cleansing. I'm so sick of being angry. I don't want to be angry anymore. I don't want to swear and scream anymore. I don't want to feel sad or scared or angry. I simply wish to feel love, peace, and joy. I just want to be at peace. I don't care what my soul chose. So it's interesting. I was learning that my soul had chosen a path that I didn't really necessarily agree with, but I was on it. So now we've got some words from God again. He says, "My child, I know how hard this is on you, but be assured it is not without reason. You are nearing the end of your clearing. You and the Tanya one," so funny, the angels would call her the Tanya one, You and the Tanya one are nearing the end. Know that I will not leave you without, nor will I let you fall. And we're like, I hope you're right, God, because it's looking pretty scary and bleak in my life right now. So this is where it's going to get a little interesting. I was out last night with my friend Beth and felt a lot of anger towards her. She still thinks Tanya and I have control of this whole situation and could make it end. The whole reason I gave her a copy of Tanya's channeled message is so she'd understand that what we are going through. She obviously has not read them yet. I'm sick of being judged by her and would really appreciate some validation. After the lecture we went to, and this is where I'll kind of explain, even though I had no money, my dear friend Beth was so kind. She was still taking me to events that we used to go to, and she was paying for everything. We had discovered this, actually it was a bookstore, and in the evenings they were doing like little lectures, little classes. There was one on chakras, there was one on past lives. This one, amazingly enough, was on ascension, if you can believe it. Fascinating. So I said, after the lecture we went to, though, she understood more because the lady talked about once we get on our spiritual path, we don't have as much free will because our soul is now leading. And it had our free will, or it had free will in spirit when it chose this path. So what we were learning was exactly what my angels were explaining, is that I had chosen this path. I had chosen a very unique path, like all of us have as light workers and twin flames. And once we get on this path, our soul is in the lead. Much like Rob and I. We wanted to be out of each other's lives how many times, and we couldn't do it.
Couldn't completely do it, no.
Because our soul was the one leading us. No matter how much our ego, how much our human side had said, no, I'm done, I want out, let me move on with my life. The soul is in control on this journey. So it was fascinating that I was learning all of this stuff about what I was going through. I mean, incredible that I was getting some information. So speaking of Rob, here's a little bit more Rob stuff. Rob called at 7:30 p.m. in a good mood and wanted to know if I wanted to come up. He called Tuesday night to see if I wanted to play Chinese checkers. You and your games.
Always like to play gaming, sporting stuff.
Yes.
That was me.
Yes. We played 2 games and then talked. He told me all about what he's doing with interviews and hiring new staff. I don't really know how we got talking about me and my stuff. I shared no specifics, but mentioned that I'm totally going against the grain in society's ways.
That was not a surprise to me. Thank you very much for the ammunition. Yeah, things aren't changing very much. That's fine. I'm here. That's just more justification for my own behavior. But, okay, continue on. Yeah.
I lost my spot. Oh, yes. So I was saying I was going against the grain of society's ways, and you said, well, you aren't on 9th Street pushing a shopping cart yet.
Oh, aren't I so, what's that called? Compassionate, caring. Yep, you're not pushing a shopping cart yet. Oh, oops.
I totally remember you saying that too. It was so funny. You were sitting on your couch. I completely remember that conversation.
No.
Yep.
I'm so callous. Or I was. Hopefully I'm not quite so callous anymore.
No, you're not.
No.
You used to be kind of harsh.
I can still be harsh, but at least I think about it before being harsh. Then I probably am harsh. Oh.
So I told him 3 people know of what I'm doing, and one is Tanya, who's going through it with me.
Birds of a feather.
Yep, us crazy people stick together. I told Rob not to be too concerned, but he said he wasn't because I had others who were supporting me and what I'm doing. I also told him he is a grounder for me. It's so nice to be normal and forget about the spiritual crap for a while. After working my ass off all day, it's nice to just go play games and goof off and forget about my life. It felt really nice to share what I'm doing, and then I put in brackets, sort of, with Rob. So finally, Rob and I have been back in touch for a while now, and finally I've sort of come clean and told him a little bit what I'm doing, but not a whole lot, because there's no way I'm going to tell you, yeah, I got court notices and I'm about to get evicted, and no, not going to tell you that. Okay, so this is now September 18th, and I said, okay, I'm freaking and panicking. The new management of the building came to my door today to inform me that I need to be out by tomorrow because the sheriff has been notified and will be coming to change the locks if I am still here. Locks. We're cheesy, what can I say? Something has to happen tomorrow because it's not just me. Tanya and her son are struggling too. I was out with Sonia tonight and she needed a friend because she's going through some stuff. I told her as well what I'm going through and what Tanya and I are doing, and she didn't freak. There's a good sign. Well, God, I hope you've got a miracle ready for us tomorrow. So here I am telling other friends, my other friends still know, even though they're not walking this path with me. They're not about to, face eviction. They're walking this path and they don't think I'm nuts. They're still in my life and they're not going, what are you doing? Have you lost your mind? So I'm thinking, okay, well, I guess I'm not crazy.
Sadly enough, I think she's crazy.
But yet you're still supportive in your own kind way.
I don't want anything bad to happen. I don't want any harm to come to Angie, but there's a bit of me that's saying that a bunch of this she's doing to herself. If she can't see the realities that are around her, then I guess she's going to have to accept the realities that happen. But I didn't know enough detail to know how grim it was.
Yeah, you didn't know all of it yet. Ew. Oh, okay, so I'm saying, God, all I want is to live a life of love and joy that you and all your books talk of. We want to be a light for others, but how can we be a light when all we feel is darkness because of feeling lied to and betrayed by you? I know it's more clearing Tanya and I are going through. We have to get the darkness out because each time we do, we become filled with more love and light. The process is so hard though, God. It's scary, especially Tanya, being that she's got a child. So can you imagine this friend that I've just met only like a month or so ago has got a 2-year-old and she's going through this. I mean, it's scary enough for me when all I've got is me, but to have a 2-year-old child and you're facing this, terrifying. So I was saying the nothingness is what drives us both nuts, driving me nuts for months and months and months now. I feel like I'm in jail. I can't eat what I want, can't go where I want, can't see who I want, can't do what I want. I feel trapped and controlled. It's extremely frustrating. It's worse than jail in some instances. I don't feel safe here, and I don't even get to eat balanced meals. What does one do? I pray and pray and pray, but it seems to get me nowhere. I send love and I ask for help, but I still feel trapped, bored, and fed up with nothingness. At least I have someone now who understands the hell I've been going through, so I was at least grateful to have Tanya on the path with me. Tanya asked me about Rose, the woman I saw last Tuesday night at the lecture. This was the lady that was talking about ascension. So I gave Tanya her phone number and she called Rose. Rose assured Tanya that we are going through cleansing and that we will survive this, that we are here for a big purpose, and that we are going through the ascension process. So it was fascinating to actually be told that there was a purpose for this, because for the longest time I didn't really understand. I mean, sure, I had angels telling me I have a mission and I have a purpose, but did I understand the notices of court on my own door? Did I understand being told not to get a job? No, I didn't understand any of that. So it was nice to finally have some explanation of what was going on. Certainly back then I didn't understand ascension like I understand it now. Didn't really get it, only just minorly, but hey, some knowledge is better than none. So I said, September 21st, okay, God, I hand it over to you, over and over and over. I hand it over to you. Is that what I want to read? Mm-hmm. Oh, yes. I get locked out of my apartment today. I must give my fear, my worries, all my concerns over to you because there's nothing I can do, because you want me to turn it over. Thy will be done, though. Thy wish for my life be done now. My life is in your hands. So I hadn't been locked out of my apartment, but I was told I was going to be. So I'm thinking, okay, today's the day. So God says, little one, I will not betray you or let you down. Remember the angel's words from so long ago, spoken through Beth. You will not falter. My love and miracles are with you now and always. Put your tiny hand in mine, and together we shall fly. So I'm reading all of this too because if you're going through struggles, whether they're, what I was going through or something different, this is beautiful advice that God gave. It's quite poetic now that I read it back. Back then, I don't think it did much for me, but you might find some benefit in it. So God's saying, breathe through the fear. Let it flow through you. Do not hold it in or force it away. Simply breathe it through. Go with the natural flow of things and just move along naturally. Let the water take you. Become one with the water. Become one with me. You are but a drop of water in my vastness of rivers and oceans. Allow your water self to join with the rest of me, and we will flow naturally and easily together through any and all obstacles. I find that truly quite beautiful now. Very nicely written. So I said, okay, this is now the next day, September 22nd. I made it out of my place this morning before anyone came pounding on my door. I'm very grateful that I was able to go home last night. My key still worked in the lock. I've been told not to pack stuff to stay at Tanya's, toothbrush, PJs, etc. Whatever. I'm getting so bored with all of this that I almost don't care if I'm locked out. It's just stuff anyways. So, interestingly, I am possibly about to be evicted, and I'm just like, whatever. I'm so exhausted from this journey now. I'm like, I'm still waiting for miracles, honestly, because God keeps talking about miracles. Tanya and I keep getting told miracles are going to happen, so I'm still thinking, things are going to change. I mean, I've been in my apartment 3 months, and, even despite being told I have to go to court, despite being told I'm going to be locked out September 1st, it's now September 23rd, and I'm still not locked out. So I'm like, well, God's clearly doing something. So I said I got home yesterday just before meeting Beth so I could see if I was locked out. Nope. A note from the bailiff saying I have until today at 4 p.m. to remove my stuff. If it's not removed, he will change the locks and put my stuff in storage. A bit more panic came, but nothing major. I took the note to Beth, and she ripped it up in front of me. This truly happened. It's hilarious. She said the angels told her it's just negative energy, that I don't need, and not to worry about it. Last night and this morning, the angels said not to pack anything, not even clothes or anything to take to Tanya's. So, this was the last night that my key worked in the lock. I truly was locked out of my apartment. It was a scary time, yet in a sense not. It was a very weird, confusing, I'd had so much time to sort of get used to the fact that by the time it happened, I was just completely whatever. So we're going to leave it at that for now. We'll pick up next time as to what happens after I get locked out of my apartment. But yes, I truly was finally evicted 3 months after not paying rent. Yes, locks. It's a lockout. It happened. Crazy, crazy journey. And, I don't laugh because I don't care. I laugh because now, all these years later, I can see the purpose in it. Back then, and even just a couple weeks ago when I was reading all of this, I couldn't. I was teary reading that just a couple weeks ago. But now I'm like, yeah, I get it. It was all part of the path. It was just what had to happen. So if there are people going through this, I know there's one woman I've been chatting with in the groups that is in this experience right now. If there are others of you, please know that there is a reason, there is a purpose. Yes, I understand it's scary. My God, it was scary back then. But know that you will get out of it.
You'll proceed out the other side.
Yep.
There is another side.
There really is. It's really not as bad as it might seem, even though our human self, our ego, is like, what? I need food, I need shelter, I need clothing. Our soul knows what it's doing. God, our angels, spirit, it all knows what it's doing. So if you can, trust the process.
Okay.
Okay, with that, we're going to leave our crazy story.
Now it's going to shift phases to the after apartment phase.
Yes, after the lockout. But that's for next time. So before we end, as always, just remember to connect with your twin, go within. We love you guys, and we'll connect, I won't say soon, but it might not be in another week, might be shorter than a week, depending on how life goes.
If we can catch up, we will, and if
Yes.
we're not, well, then maybe we won't.
We'll try.
Got to go with that flow too.
Yes.
All right.
Good night.
Have a good night.
Yes.
Bye.